Yeah, got some more peanut butter, mate. Don't do it, can I?
And we see that also from the following reference here from the nickel at 509 at F, between the and F, that's pick it up to the end of the in a state of conclusion is the Home Secretary has effectively written off. Party Rees Mogg, then, if I may, saying by words, tab 14, 424. And you see the context from the head note. Just about to cast an eye down there to get the all about Maastricht and other powers sign up to our various protocols as well as part of the Maastricht Treaty. And the key passages for our purposes are on page 439, electronic, under the second issue. Thus you see it. Can I invite you to read that page and a half, or the page and a half, under the second issue that we've got in third issue on the next page. What James Eadie is saying here is that the government has prerogative powers to trigger Article 50. All these references to past cases, to cases where there's a regulatory case along the SkyTrain, it's brought by Lord Rees Mogg involving the Maastricht Treaty. They're all cases where courts have dealt with the royal prerogative. And maybe I can just read to you from Mr. Eadie's summary of the points he's making from his written submission. He said that Parliament has repeatedly legislated in the area of treaty making in relation to the treaty and hasn't dealt with the question of Bristol could have done so, but its intention, says Mr. Eadie, is to leave the field clear. And he says it can't be a necessary implication from the fact that Parliament has provided for EU laws are effectively domestic law, and on the contrary, Parliament is not intended to be doing anything other than leaving the field unoccupied. It follows that the relevant prerogative power to withdraw from the EU remains untouched. And this is Lord Sumption asking a question on this issue. There's a tougher test to be applied in accordance with this reason, not so much because it's treaty power there, there's treaty power there, but because Parliament has intervened in the area in which the prerogative is exercised to impose a whole series of controls already. And that carried with it the implication that if you're going to intervene to control that sort of action, it would do so expressly. So it's almost an aspect of forfeiture, exactly. It's almost that. But it does does say you've gone in there and you've designed the scheme of control, having gone there and designed the scheme of control, you can draw the inference that the Parliament's going to control, it's going to do so expressly. That's exactly the sort of thing I would expect. If what we're dealing with is a piece which requires decisions to be made of a legislative kind around things that basic powers, what should the mechanisms of control be? Should there be final legislation? Should there be a final message? Should there be motions to which Parliament consents and so on? That's the point that is being made. Now, let it come below, I think the Division of Fourth accepts this. So, well, no, you can pretty much bypass that paragraph with that reasoning, because as they ultimately go on to conclude, the protocol on social policy, and this is the main part of the analysis and the second issue, they then conclude that protocol wouldn't in any event come past domestic law, so where's the worry? But my respectful submission is that that's a second strand, a distinct strand of reasoning, and it doesn't touch, because it provides simply a distinct reason for reaching the same conclusion. It doesn't touch the reasoning that one sees in the final, which is the method of self-evidence, one sees in the final paragraph on page 14. So, just to clarify, it's not the one subject. It isn't my case that treaty-making prerogative, just because it's treaty-making prerogative, is subject to a different set of rules on the back of this paragraph. Quite with respect to in general, come to develop that argument because but the point that is being made here is not dependent upon it being a treaty, but is dependent upon the fact that Parliament has chosen to intervene in the way forward. It's that creates the interest, and if it's going to do so again, it will do so expressly because it will be altering the law scheme that it has already designed. Can I just ask you whether this just one not have to ask first, what is the nature of the prerogative power? Is it prerogative power which authorizes one to do things on the international level which do not have the effect of which we domestic law? Or is it a general prerogative power? The reason why that matters is that if the prerogative power never did extend to doing something like domestic law, then no question of abrogation arises. We have a situation where this exercise would be domestic law. You can't do it, not by virtue of it implies action to an express state, simply because of the conditionality of the prerogative right against it. Well, yes, I think the way that I answer that is there are two different beasts in play in our particular context. And the first of them asks, what is the usual way in which the courts and other principles on the basis of which the courts seek to answer the question whether or not the prerogative power is dependent? And the second of them asks, what is the nature of the 1972 Act which I found, and the way in which it is set matters out, so that the effects of the international game are directly and automatically introduced into domestic law. So what that does, I'm sure you have to ask, what are the limits of the prerogative power to make treaties? If the position is that the prerogative power is only as broad as it is, because the assumptions that are made as to the rest of that's then maybe that situation is interesting what it gets to the question of the statutes. And this is a suggestion that it actually confers the prerogative right to change the well, I see that as a prior question. You expect this, that the prerogative power in the field of making the treaties, ratification of treaties, and control of treaties, there is and always has been a general power, untrammeled by any such implication, which can, as I develop this in a variety of ways, impact into domestic law through any or all of the various models that we've analysed in our cases. So I see the force of asking that as the prior question, whether they impact. We respect to submit that's a question we've got the answer, recognising that A, it's general untrammeled power. And so if we get to the stage where it's saying there's a freestanding principle of changing content of domestic law, or keeping simply altering the facts which exist in domestic law facts. Well, it could be either or both. Those topics are very different things. They are very different things, but it could be either or both, which is why the ambulatory scheme and how something to works and all of that is very important. Except when it's necessarily dealing with the same beast and considering patient's radio and that depends on drawing that distinction between the factor and the sun. No, that's Reece Moore. That's someone else. Reece Moore. Just before short of John, I go with just by the mention only. I'm not going to take you to. But if you still have the will to the governing authorities on the basic approach to application of law, the Northumbria Police Authority, which will do that police ordering various bits of equipment. That is perhaps worth a read. It's an authorities have bundle 8-77 at MS 3059. And a recent case which involves the exercise of royal powers by their own secretary to remove people's passports, cancel the passports, ex-age, currently in the government in the provisional court, and certainly with the Court of Appeal next week, involving the Iranian and Marshall Roads and all that aside, so you may have to be familiar with the basic complicated principles. But that also is of some interest. The exam is about 29 from that. All authorities, bundle 4, tab 66, 2781. Yeah, they're really an application. It's an application in a different context. Let's take you through it. That's that half my local person is the fact that they're just different illustrations of the same basic approach. But it's an interesting analysis there. And it contains, if you want to put an ingredient base, or top acid will be done. But the relevant paragraphs for present purposes are really from 39 to the early 50s. Well, maybe that's a little bit else. That's right. Well, as you see, the court is now adjourning for lunch. The time of Lord Newberg there, saying that's the principle of legality until 2 o'clock. We've had an extremely interesting morning, quite typical, I think, of how the United Kingdom Supreme Court operates. It's this very combative, seminar-like atmosphere where James Eadie for the Crown is being cross-questioned by one justice after another to test the points that he's making. We began with Lord Newberg, the President of the Court, making the point that this case is here for the Court to decide points of law which come within its jurisdiction. He said justices are well aware of the public interest in the case. We're well aware of the strong feelings associated with the wider political questions surrounding the UK's departure from the European Union. But Lord Newberg has said these wider political questions are not the subject of this appeal. The appeal is concerned with legal issues, and as judges are duty to consider those impartially and decide the case according to law. Then we heard an introductory relevant to the question that the High Court was having to decide. But he said that that wasn't the case. And what we had from Jeremy Knight, and then subsequently a much greater one from James Eading QC, is this whole question of whether the government can use prerogative powers, these are the inherent powers that ministers have, in order to trigger Brexit. And that came on to the rather important question of what these powers say. Do they extend to allow the government to trigger Brexit without consent of Parliament? And that in turn led to a discussion, quite a detailed discussion based on past cases, of whether powers existed, whether if they had been abrogated, which means done away with, they might revive, they might be restored, how far they went. And it's on that point that the court adjourned for lunch and will resume shortly.
Joshua, just on the President's opening remarks, setting the important context, this is a question of law, not politics. I think you wrote last week the great constituent stake in this hearing is the reputation of the judiciary. Does it make any difference that what we're witnessing today and in the coming days as well is televised? Does it make any difference to the way the judges behave? I mean, one of the arguments against past minutes, sometimes like a showboating. Does it make any difference that they're watching this live?
The judges are very conscious of the fact that this is being shown live, and I think they're right proud of it, obviously. They have gone some lengths to make sure that the microphones in court, there's more bandwidth on its server so that people can watch it on the internet, special provision for broadcasters and so on. And they do want to show the public how they operate, and they want to show that they are alert. I think James Eading for the Crown was also aware of it, because from time to time he apologised for the fact that he was leaving the judges to read out a case by themselves. Obviously that's quicker than him reading it out to them, easier for them. He was conscious of the fact that it might be rather boring for those of us watching if we couldn't read what they were reading. So they're very sensitive about this, and I think we will see that the Attorney General, despite some of the more lurid newspaper headlines this morning, made the point that this was a case about fraud. This was a question of what they were allowed, and he and his counsel are saying that this is well within the powers. Basically, they're saying Parliament has given these prerogative powers, Parliament has permitted these prerogative powers to be exercised by ministers. They may be old in origin, but they're modern in application, they're practical, they're sensible. There's no suggestion that Parliament is taking them away. If they exist, then Parliament doesn't need to pass legislation. Ministers can use these powers to trigger Brexit, and ultimately what they're saying is that it's not overturning the act of Parliament which put the UK into what is now the EU. That act would remain in the statute book, even though it wouldn't amount very much, because by then, according to this period, the EU would have.
Joshua, thanks very much indeed. Much more from Joshua Roseberg when the Supreme Court starts speaking around 2 o'clock now.
Okay, not last, Mr. Clive Nunn is at the Supreme Court for us as well. And Clive, how much reform for the government?
Well, I think that the case, as Joshua was just explaining, was pretty clear. They have to overturn what was a public defeat in the divisional court, in the High Court, where it was baffled, divorced from reality. And you saw the approach there from James Eading and from the Attorney General, which is to extend their jurisdiction of court and support that it was a viable and reasonable thing to bring to this court, but make a clear case that they felt the Constitution had been in some way misinterpreted, that there are 2 elements to Britain's constitutional settlement. This word dualism, which is that there's a foreign law part with a domestic law part and the divisional law part outside. That the EU right at times not domestic rights, and therefore not necessarily a matter where Parliament is required to legislate and where the government cannot use its prerogative powers. But I thought in terms of how the case proceeded, listened to politely, obviously, by the judges, but they were forensic in terms of some of the points made by the government about the overturn this argument. There was still a little skepticism after those points. Let's listen to James Eading talk about that issue of the prerogative powers of government. This is the government's chief QC, the Treasury Council on this issue.
Prerogative powers are by definition those powers that can be exercised by the government they do not depend for their existence or their source on legislation. Otherwise, they would be and become statutory powers. So statutory intervention into a sphere in which prerogative powers are exercised involves a legislative decision to impose limits or to abrogate or to remove existing properly sourced elsewhere prerogative powers.
And Michael, a great deal of examination in the press over the last few days about the 11th Justice sitting there today, but at the very start of the proceedings today, what I think made clear is that all parties attending are very, very supportive of what's happening.
Indeed, Lord Overload has said at the top that there was an opportunity for anybody involved in the case to object to any of the 11 Supreme Court justices hearing the case and non-guilty. That issue was settled. Nobody's taking the case of the government, none of the appellants, none of the respondents here making any sort of case about the position of any of the Supreme Court justices. That has been settled. That nobody decided to intervene there. I think what was interesting was some of the interventions from the Supreme Court, which channeled, like David read already, the counter-arguments to the arguments currently being presented by the government. And they brought a couple of them to the government's counsel, including the idea that if you take the government's logic, then the government could have triggered off committees, not just without Parliament, but without a referendum. That's a key part of Gina Miller's UC Lord Panic. That's a key part of their argument. They wanted to provide little clues as to how sympathetic the world of the government, get a little exchange, more easy exchange from just the extent of that.
The examples in our case of paragraph 44, volume 2, first and the electronic space 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, that there's a thousand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. That's the system of distraction problem.
You are right, Mr.
Is that something?
On this point. I don't know why you'll be with what I'm saying.
So the legal document in form, there's been a disorganisation over some of the casework that they were referring to. The big point here, though, the government trying to make a case that it has the power to use the prerogative is a foreign law matter, and it was drawing on cases going back to the 1920s involving a hotel requisition during the First World War.
Michael, thanks very much. Never mind me, you can see a special programme including highlights from day one of this historic challenge. That can be on Sky News at 9:30 this week.
Now, this woman started with stab wounds while working at a remote holiday resort in Lapland. Her 36-year-old boyfriend was checked, was arrested. The unnamed victim from Scotland and her boyfriend were seasonal employees with tour operator Santa Safari.
At least 11 people have died and dozens were injured after a fire broke out at a four-star hotel in the Pakistani city of Karachi. The raid started in the kitchen on the ground floor of the Regent Plaza Hotel before spreading through the building. The cause of the fire remains unclear.
The criminal offence of father Alana, a 7-year-old Syrian girl who was recently about the horrors of life for him. On a particular level, it's gone quiet now. Recent messages from the accounts of young Brisbane are desperate to report in the last few days, detailing how their home was destroyed for $100,000 in the course of years.
Number of deaths in a fire in a warehouse park in California has risen to 33. Local authorities have been able to track that less than half the building there has been interfered with. The number of killed will continue to rise.
The European Union is facing a fresh turmoil after the resignation of Italy's Prime Minister.
National Assembly stepped down after the constitutional reform proposals were rejected by voters.
Most of the votes counted, just almost 4.7 Italians voted yes, but they clearly got 59% voted no.
Now victory for the anti-establishment movement in Europe, as Sky's Mark Stone reports now from Rome, and a warning political representative national difficulty.
They marched through the city towards the Prime Minister's residence. A small crowd, but it was becoming clear that they represented stability knocks economic confidence. Italy can't afford to prop up the banks. They collapse. The Greek-style bailout will be needed. Overnight, the euro hit a 12-month low against the dollar. Eurozone finance ministers meet today in Brussels in crisis talks. Beppe Grillo is the populist anti-establishment leader of the Five Star Movement. With other populists, he campaigned successfully for a no vote to the call for constitutional change. It was, they said, anti-democratic. Democracy had now won. But at what cost for the Eurozone and the European Union? That's the question establishment governments across the continent. Mark Stern, Sky News.
When we look at the balance sheets, I'm sure something we do with some of those Italian banks, one advantage on there, it's a sorry story. In truth, how much does this election result change things?
Well, I mean, when you look at the market, actually, people seem to be a little sanguine than you might have thought, actually. The stock market, for instance, in Milan, it dropped a little bit, then actually it was up for a while, and now it's down a little bit. So there hasn't been a news of market reaction. And indeed, even those banks, I think a lot of people who are going in there have been long-running problems with Italian banks, particularly, you mentioned the one that Mark talked about, not the Siena. For a long time, those banks have needed to raise actually capital. The awkward thing is that was supposed to happen this week, and then a long time this referendum, a big shock to the political system. Obviously, the Luton Prime Minister is not a good thing, although it should be said in Italy that Italy tends to make the Prime Minister quite great. Now, at the moment, what we're doing is we're just waiting to see what happens next. So, Matteo Renzi has met with the Italian president to submit his resignation. What we don't know is precisely who that caretaker leader is going to be, or indeed if there's going to be an election. That's what the Five Star Movement would like. But when markets look at Italy at the moment, they are slightly more sanguine, slightly more relaxed than I think a lot of people have thought. And it's interesting, isn't it, to look back at these different events we've had over the course of the year, whether it's the Brexit vote, whether it's Trump, or indeed this Italian vote, and to note that there hasn't necessarily been a financial crisis in any case. And indeed the euro, which dropped quite a lot last night, is now actually stronger against the dollar than it was before those moments of the results actually started to come through. So certainly kind of a more relaxed attitude from markets, but I think that's partly because no one's quite sure what happens next. Same as with Brexit, same as with future President Trump. No one knows precisely what policies will actually be implemented, or indeed whether this does take it closer to the exit than it was before.
Yeah, there was some cold in that, aren't they? Thanks very much, Steve.
This is Sky News. Costa. Please have your phone handy and get ready to light up a child's life this Christmas. Christmas is a magical time for children, but imagine how it feels if your child is dead like anything. Imagine how it feels if you can't see the Christmas tree or hear a carol. But a text from you now could simply light up Christmas for a child like you. Just text TALK to 70007 to give a Christmas gift of £3 to Smith, a national charity. Your £3 means to provide sensory toy for a child like me. A toy that will help us introduce him to wonderful new sensations and begin to make sense of the world around him. £3. That's all it costs to begin to bring a child who's deaf blind into our world. So please, text toy to 777 now and make a child like Ellie smile this Christmas. Thank you.
Now, a long anticipated government review has warned that Britain is becoming more divided as the country grows more diverse.
The book says school children should be taught British values of tolerance and respect to help bind the community. Our correspondent calling for Oldham to examine the scale of the problem.
The former mill town of Oldham attracted mass migration from South Asia in the 50s and 60s. But a generation on, barriers are still to be broken down, which even residents admit means parts of the town are virtually segregated.
A lot of people are living on land and obviously Asian people are on religion go on, Wales, and that's China. And there's a British and a bit of a die as well.
But you quite like this to stay as a mostly white area.
Obviously, I'm not on the this yet.
This is St Mary's, an area where black and white residents appear to live happily side by side.
If a lot of Asian people moved into this street, how would you feel about that?
What can they live?
Why would that upset you to live next door to an Asian person? The smell of the Asian food.
Logic is a predominantly Asian area of Oldham.
I believe personally it's one of the most segregated towns in the country.
Shopkeeper Latif Hussain and travel agent Parviz Nadir are neighbours. They say some residents rarely leave the community.
People are segregated, aren't they?
By choice. You know, they've got a choice where they're going to live.
And they want to live in a segregated community.
Yeah, they want to live in the same place.
Why is that?
To be honest with you, there's a lot of people around here who take it together.
Why do you think white people don't come to live here or move away?
Scared. That's why. One thing I'm really scared is not this. So yeah,
What do you think they're scared of?
they often just scared that they might get attacked around here. Yeah,
And would they get attacked around here?
they wouldn't think they were mess about. But they mess about with people.
Tell me, I've learned from passion there. One question about the relationship.
Waterhead Academy is trying to build bridges between communities. It came about after a school of nearly all white pupils was deliberately merged with a predominantly Asian one.
You want children to challenge, you want children to be independent and think, challenge themselves out in the classroom.
But the progressive multicultural atmosphere of the school can jar with some of the pupils' home lives. 14-year-old Sana Ramsey goes to Waterhead Academy and lives in Loddick. She is the niece of travel agent Parviz Nadir.
I don't think segregation is the problem. I think the issue is when we haven't got opportunities for people to go to these lives. That's where the problem lies, because we've got no activity that brings them together.
Residents say segregation doesn't make where they live no-go areas. And many are in a comfort zone they will never leave. Besides, I leave Oldham.
Do you mind? Someone is trying to sleep here.
Finding guilty of an alleged whistleblower payment, the bank charges 6 years by Business Appeals Committee. Blacker has all missionized and investigated. And after this is a still one more game to play in the Premier League, and it's a
messages on the bring up on and then every month I will book on the chapter on the we got off to a good start. But they are one of our competitors and we are more than aware that these are the big games. We're going to come and soon in the season. But we'll draw there very confident.
Having said is that one team is in their search today for a replacement for world champion of Orlando. And I hope to find a new partner for Lewis Hamilton before January, after it's put after 5 days after winning the world title. Pat Lang has been named as Britain's new rugby head coach at the promised to male forward led Irish side Thomas to their first Pro-12 title last season. Down the places of Bella Evans in Scotland after Andy Robinson took back to her Britain's director of rugby in November. Tiger Woods says he's looking forward to 2017, former world number one finished in 15th place, saving his comeback tournament with the overall challenge. He now wants to fit in as many events as possible, including playing the President's Cup and the international version of the Ryder Cup.
I would like in the heart of hearts to play a full schedule next year. You know, I really want to play and one of my goals, I told our captain next year that I know my assistant already, but I'd be a playing assistant. And so that was kind of the idea going into this year's Ryder Cup, but didn't quite pan out that way. So hopefully next year I can start playing some more events.
And a reminder there's more live down in Southwood for you this HQ. We're back here in the next hour.
Now he's watered. It won't go into a bus, you know. Not his fair.
When I turn mild in a couple of days, it's
Naturally, rest is undone. The rest of the sun shines bright above fire.
yeah, Scotland, Northern and Eastern England stays dry between cold with plenty of sunshine this afternoon. Ireland, Northern Ireland, Wales and South West. Cloudy but milder. Cloud barely expected to thicken later on, bringing fog to the hills and the old shower to the south of Ireland. Low pressure staying dry. Elsewhere, south of Scotland, tending cloud over the bulk of Scotland, as well as northern and eastern England, picking up sunny skies into the evening. Clouds spreading across most of Britain tonight, limited that early frost, but northern and eastern Scotland temperatures there to be below zero under the clear skies. Staying dry for most, but foggy in many areas, so we would actually rain from far west as well. Tuesday, a rather grey day, lingering fog in some patchy rain and breezy west. That will take over much of Scotland later on, but milder and slightly cloudy.
Sponsored by Qatar Airways.
This is Diane coming up.
Sky News at 10 brings you comprehensive coverage of the data apps.
Let's switch to the news. Let's switch.
We break down the big stories and how they affect you. With special reports on key issues affecting our world. And of course, the press preview looks ahead to tomorrow's press days with a spectrum of political news. Sky News every night at 10. A high-speed digital motor. Engineering about fast drive. A microprocessor to prevent extreme heat damage and help protect the shine. While air dries and stone that's Supersonic, a hairdryer.
We all see in the movies. Don't just sit with life and just try to resist that accent. At the East, Far East, and see for yourself these are the best dumplings in the world, just like they are. Or maybe you just want to go someplace that doesn't feel like any place else. Then you should really go here. So,
travel Virgin Wines Gold Cards. Get on to a Flying Star to Airport Express. Rest and relax with hotel room upgrade. Conference upgrades to the local size of style. Just so that the benefits packed into the Virgin Wines Gold Card from American Express. Search Amex code.
Watching you every day on Sky Sport. Available to buy a win through Sky Sport now. This is the deal. You're going somewhere very bad to do something you'll get to do. Was that like that talk? Well, the Suicide Squad is Sky Sport now.
Watching Danny's main story today, the government has begun its battle to start the process of leaving the EU at the Supreme Court today in one of the most significant constitutional battles.
Former footballers who are allegedly abused children by their coaches, Norwich Trust, alcohol victims.
The British woman has reportedly been stabbed to death in Lapland. Her 36-year-old boyfriend has been arrested.
Some bad news for the former FIFA president, Sepp Blatter, who is telling journalists he's lost his book arbitration court appeal against that 6-year ban that was handed down by the organisation that used this is a ban between, the Speak Festival from 1998 to 2015, so a long time in that job, who contested the ban that was imposed for an alleged, quote, disloyal payment made to the then UEFA president, which I presume in 2011, so a 6-year ban, not
A bit more now, the government's appeal against the High Court's ruling last month that it must seek approval from Parliament before starting the formal process of leaving the EU.
Well, the Attorney General, that's Jeremy Wright, told the Supreme Court this morning that the issue goes to the very heart of the British Constitution.
Well, Michael Gordon is an expert in constitutional law at the University of Liverpool and joins us now from there via Skype. Good to talk to you. This law this morning we've been hearing about prerogative powers. Just explain what that means in layman's terms.
Well, basically, when we're talking about the prerogative powers of the government in this case, we're talking about a residual set of powers that the executive government possesses, almost historically powers that the government possesses that have never been taken away from them by Parliament. The particular royal prerogative power issued in the Miller case at the moment is the power to conduct international relations and foreign affairs as well. That's a particular royal prerogative power, and the big debate in this case is exactly how far that power extends. Exactly whether the government can use it to trigger the Article 50 notification without further authorisation from Parliament, or whether, as Miller and Miller respondents in the case are arguing, whether in fact that's a much narrower power that can't be used to violate rights.
Now, obviously, we've got this far, we've got far as the Supreme Court, there isn't really anywhere else to go. How tricky a legal decision is this? I mean, how will the judges make their decision?
I think it is a very tricky decision, and it's quite a finely balanced case as well. And there's quite a lot of disagreement among constitutional lawyers and other academics as well as practitioners about exactly which side of the case should prevail. I mean, I think one of the things that will probably mark this case out as different from the decision in the High Court is because we're hearing because the case is being held by an unprecedented panel of 11 judges in the Supreme Court. It's very likely that we'll end up with a split decision. So probably a majority judgment and then some dissenting judgments as well, which obviously then makes the case quite an interesting one to get through, but also potentially could sort of increase the dissatisfaction perhaps to whichever side ends up losing the case. But it was a really, really tricky case. It's been interesting this morning obviously the government's approach to it, bearing in mind they lost in relatively embarrassing terms in the High Court, their arguments criticized really strongly there. So they have tried to re-emphasize a couple of key points of the argument here about the idea that it's not an interference with parliamentary sovereignty for them to possess this royal authority power to trigger Article 50. And also to emphasize the idea that this is just the start of the process in which Parliament is inevitably going to be involved.
If there is a judgment, if it comes down to a majority judgment, what will happen then? Will that then give the losing side further opportunity to appeal against this appeal?
No, I think ultimately what will happen is that the case will just be decided on majority grounds. But then, of course, at least in those terms, the respondents of the appellate government or Miller or Santos will be able to perhaps nurse a little bit of grievance for them, because one of the interesting things that is held by a full panel of 11 means that they are every single justice of the Supreme Court view on this as well. And there are interesting debates about how whether if the court had been proposed in a different way, maybe a time 7 or 9, could that have affected the result overall? I suppose the other issue as well is that if whether there is in fact a further appeal onwards, perhaps even to the European Court of Justice. I think that looks very unlikely. There needs to be a reference to the UK Supreme Court. And I think one thing that does seem clear is that the court in the past has tried to avoid making references to the European Court of Justice in related cases where it's been dealing with very contentious domestic political issues. So I think the reference is unlikely. So it probably will be the case that you will just have a decision on majority grounds for that, and the losers will have to accept it, unfortunately for them.
And on that subject, of course, wading into political arena, do you think the Supreme Court is perhaps a little bit bolder than we might have expected?
Well, I think it's interesting that Lord Newberg, right at the start this morning, tried to set the tone and say this isn't about revisiting the political debates of the EU referendum, this is about questioning the law. And of course, that must be right. But I think one of the interesting things about constitutional law is inevitably, in deciding these finely balanced legal questions, the political context is going to be really important. So we've seen interventions from a couple of the judges already this morning talking about the implications of the referendum vote and exactly how that feeds into the legal question about whether the government has the power to trigger Article 50. That was something that the High Court didn't really pay much attention to. So, in one sense, yes, this is about points of law. On the other hand, constitutional law is always something which occurs in a political context. So it will be difficult for the court to sort of tread that very careful line and really try to ensure that their legitimacy is maintained. The courts below are subject to some very difficult attacks from the media, enemies of the people, and so on, for what was perceived by some to be interfering too closely into these political questions.
And what are the potential ramifications for Parliament after this decision? I mean, could it change the way that this country's government can picture this decision aside?
It potentially could, although I think one of the really interesting things about this case is it's such an important major constitutional case about division of powers between Parliament and the Executive. But it's not entirely clear, actually, in terms of the substantive implications of a decision against the government, what that might amount to. I think it generally seems to be the case that Parliament probably feel bound by the authority of the referendum result, even though legally it's required. Political and constitutional terms, really that result has very significant democratic authority. So it may be that we go all the way through the legal process. The government actually does lose in the end. Parliament may still be pushed into the position of having some other standard procedures to trigger Article 50. And actually, some people may see that as a diminution of Parliament rather than a sort of reassertion as a result of the legal challenge.
Just as someone who's an expert in constitutional law, I'm sure we will be calling upon the certainties again over the next few days. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
The Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe will visit Pearl Harbor. The US President Barack Obama later this month will be the third Japanese Prime Minister to visit the US naval base in Tanzania as Tanzania 61. Their last summer mission is the 41 as this country comes.
The French Prime Minister Manuel Valls is expected to announce that he'll run for president in next year's elections. Last week, the current president, François Hollande, announced he will not be seeking the election.
Austria's new president, Alexander Van der Bellen, will be sworn in next month, with only postal ballots left to count. Initial exit polls show the left-leaning candidate 153% of the vote. His right and right
gorgeous boy.